Hello everyone. Now today we'll see three things. They're small things but very important things. Number one is the career options that you have, what kind of things you can do in your career. Then we'll go on to discuss a very interesting rule which I have made, which is called as the explore, exploit and rule the market. So the rule word is not rule, it is ruling the market. Okay. And the third thing we'll discuss today is education planning, education and skill development, how you will focus on these things. Okay. So let's start. So what is the career according to you? Now I'll take this first topic, which is a very simple topic, but most people don't understand, or rather they misunderstand this topic. Hence, it's very important to clear it in the first place. That what career really means for you. Is it about more so for people who have not yet joined the industry, means they are yet to clear their exams, they are into their education. They misunderstand this concept. They think that becoming an engineer or a CA, or a doctor is my career. So that's the first misconception that you have to remove. That becoming a CA or becoming an engineer or a software engineer or aeronautics engineer or whatever stream you choose, or becoming a doctor is not a career. Okay, it is education. So your education is, in line to make your career. But education by itself is not the end of your career. It's the beginning, we can say, of your career choices. So what do you mean by career in that case? And why it is important to understand this difference? Okay. So let's see. So what is your career? Career is basically what you are going to do after you finish education. So your real life in which you do a lot of work, you employ yourself in doing something to gain something out of it. Basically to gain revenue, to gain income out of it. So that is what we call as a career. Okay. You're going to earn money out of it and you are going to live your life doing that thing. That's career. Okay. Now, why it is important to understand this difference? The important point is that if you focus too much on education part and not on the career building part, then you may be a very good, ranker, or you can be a very good student, but you may fail in your career. And that is a proven fact. They did a research in Harvard University. Okay, not Indian University. It was a research done in Harvard where people with very good minds reach, to Harvard. Not all people can enter Harvard. The cutoff criteria is too high. So the basic understanding is that you have to be very good, intelligent person with high IQ to reach Harvard in the first place. Now, when you reach there and then you pass out from Harvard, then automatically what happens is that you get very good opportunities in life, right? Excellent opportunities in life. Now, these people did a research on Harvard graduates, means people who have already cleared from Harvard and they are now placed in the industry for last 10 years, 15 years, 20 years and so on. And they found that people with very high IQ and who stood in merit rank in their Harvard University were not doing that great in their career. They were not at the top of the corporates, like they were not the CEOs and they were not in the board of directors. They were doing something good, of course. After Harvard, you automatically do good, but they were not doing good as expected. In the reverse, people who are average students, people who are average students were doing excellently well in their career. So they did this research and found this fact, and therefore they researched further that why it is so. So they found that the important aspect to get success in your careers, in your real life, is not your IQ, but your practical intelligence. How street smart you are. So street smartness is one of the aspects of practical intelligence, but it is more. Practical intelligence is how you decide, how you, take decisions, how you basically make your choices. That would be a better word rather than decisions. How you make your choices in the real world, how you understand the real market, okay, how you interpret the real things happening out there in the world. That's very crucial. That's called as the practical intelligence. And people with this practical intelligence succeed in their careers. So the question is, what is the difference between IQ and practical intelligence, and why it is so that people with high IQ don't have practical intelligence? Do we mean that? It's not like that. People with high IQ may have high practical intelligence, but what normally happens is that during your college days, if you get good marks by studying the books, then your mind becomes satisfied. You get into that comfort zone that anyways, I'll study these chapters and I'll get very good marks. So your mind becomes constricted into books only. Okay. And people who don't have that much IQ, they have to look out because they have to clear their exams. So their mind is open. They link their book knowledge to practical side of things, that what's happening in the real world, because they cannot remember, their memory is weak. So in order to remember things, they relate these things, the bookish things, to practical things in life. So they have a more practical outlook from the very beginning, because they know that their academics is not that strong, so they have to be practically strong. And that is what helps them in the real world to succeed. So that's why I'm discussing this point today, that along with your IQ, which definitely you'll have to improve, and along with your academics and all the learnings that you will do and keep doing. The reason for discussing this is, now you'll ask me a question that we have already cleared our exams, we are already CAs or we are already engineers. Why are we studying this? And I'll give you the answer after a few slides. Okay. So remember that you have to study for life. You are always a student. You have to upskill yourself. You have to learn new things continuously during your entire profession, okay, till the age of retirement and even thereafter. Okay, so therefore this is equally important for you guys as well. So be practically intelligent, be open to the practical world, take as much inputs from the practical world, interpret the real situation out there and make choices and decisions. So that will help you achieve real big success in life. Okay. So that's the first point of discussion today. Then moving on to the second point, that is your career options. Now, this is again a very important point. Lot of people and mostly students come to me and they say that what should we do? Should we go for a job? Should we go for our own practice or profession? Or should we, and even in job, should I take a job in multinational company, or should I take job in a startup, or which kind of company? Okay, which kind of industry, which kind of company? So all these are big questions, and making a right choice is very, very crucial and important, because once you take a choice and commit yourself to that choice, you will be committed for a number of years. So of course there are changes, and I will tell you how to change your career as well. You can shift your careers, you can shift your paths, but not often. Right? You may shift it once or twice in your entire career span. So the initial choice that you make is equally important, is very important. And then of course, the choices that you make after that are also equally important. So therefore, you need to understand that what are your options. So the first option you have is a profession, a vocation, an occupation, or a venture. These are the options that you have. Now let's discuss them. So first is profession. Profession means like a doctor or a CA, any kind of a professional or even an engineer can start his own profession, like an architect can have his own office, or even a civil engineer can have his own practice of construction, or can get into consultancies, So profession means where you use your spatial knowledge to give service to any other business or person, as the case may be. So it can be B2B, it can be B2C. Like if a CA audits corporates, that's a B2B service, business to business. And if he files returns for individuals, that can be B2C. However, both can qualify as B2C, because for me as a chartered accountant, even a company is, a customer for me. He's a client for me. But to differentiate further, it can be classified as B2B because it is by itself a business establishment. Okay, so you can do that. So these are crucial points that you can choose from. So first is your profession. Second is vocation. Vocation means it has a certain body of knowledge. Like you can be a singer, so you have learned singing, but it is more inclined towards a hobby. Okay, so that is a vocation. Cricketers, musicians, film artists, we can call them as exercising their vocations. Their choice is of a vocation, a special skill. Okay. Third is occupation, which majority of us go to. We take up jobs, and nowadays the jobs are also very flexible. It's not a 9-to-5 job market anymore. So you have 9-to-5 full-time office jobs, you have got part-time jobs, you have got freelancing jobs, you have got remote working, okay, consultancies are there. So there are different kinds of jobs which are available in the market. And the last is starting your own business or a startup, you can say. It can be a physical business, it can be a online business, it can be any kind of business. And there's difference between an old-fashioned business and a startup. So let's now go into deep and see what is good for us. So if you remember, in one of the earlier sessions, we had done those kind of tests, the IQ and EQ tests, and I recommended a lot of test sites to you. I hope you have done your research on that. You have done your own checks. Okay. So if you have taken the tests and you know your results, that must have given you a lot of insights into what kind of profession you are good at. But on a broader scale, if I would have to take, so if you are a risk-oriented person, the first thing is the risk orientation. How much risk you are able to take in life. Are you a good, risk taker, or are you a risk-averse person? Absolutely averse. You don't like to take risks in life. You are a very conservative person. You want security. Okay. So if you want security, you are very conservative, you are frightened with risks, then the better option is go for occupation, go for a full-time job. So it gives you security. Okay. And if you progress well in the company, these days you have got a lot of incentives as well. So select the line which is open to a lot of incentives. Okay. Don't select a line which is, a dead end. Like if I talk about accounting roles in the company, they're mostly dead end. Because you can join as an accountant, a junior accountant, then go on to become a senior accountant and so on. And if you don't move on to the management side, then you reach a dead end. You don't get that much, progress inside a company. So you may start with even from salary point of view, as well as the level point of view and the incentive point of view. So therefore, I always tell chartered accountants, all my old students, that do your MBA as well. Go into the management side. Don't get stuck into the accounting side. Okay. Switch your jobs or try to switch to management side, because once you enter into the management side of the corporate job, then you have good chance of, getting ahead. A lot of progress is there and you can show the results, and depending on results, you will get a lot of incentives, even ESOPs and all those advantages. Okay. So move into the management side. So when we talk about job market, you see that you choose a line because there are so many types of jobs. So you choose that area, that line, that functional role, which gives you lot of progress. Okay, the future should be like this, not like this. So that's very crucial calculation that you must do. Now coming to whether I should go for profession or occupation. So what happens in profession or even a startup or business is that the initial time is very struggling. The first 5 years will be a real struggling time. It will be a struggle. You'll have to, invest a lot of money. You may incur a lot of losses. Like even if you go for profession, you set up your office and all, you incur a lot of capital expenditure there. And then you don't know whether the customers are going to come or not, whether clients will come to you, whether they'll take your service, whether they like your service or not. There are a lot of things involved there, and which we'll discuss later on as well. So there is a risk. The initial years will be the struggle period. But the future years, once you set up and you establish your name and build your brand, then it becomes an automatic thing. People will come to you automatically. So once you build your customer base, see that these customers keep repeating. That's very crucial point. So even when you think of a business line, think of a line where you have repeat customers. Okay, like chartered accountancy profession. Once a customer joins you, he will bring the accounts to you every single year thereafter. So that is the repeat clientele. That's very crucial. But when I started with my profession of teaching, that is to students come to me in CA final, they learn, they go out and they clear their exams. Or even if they don't clear, they don't come back to me every year. Yeah, they don't come back to me every year to study again. But you guys are doing it today to study this course, which is a totally different course. But for CA course, you will not come back again and again, right? So that's a disadvantage. Don't choose such a line, because what disadvantage I faced was that I had to advertise, I had to incur the customer acquisition cost every single batch. Okay, because there was no repeat customer. But when you have repeat customers, you don't incur the customer acquisition cost again and again. So that is a big advantage. So think of all these things, okay, while you select your career, you make your career choice. So choose a profession or a startup if you are a risk taker, number one. Okay, the initial years will be very bad, but future will be good. And as you move ahead, you will have a lot of progress if you satisfy your customers and if you have a growth opportunity. Okay, and you ride those opportunities and keep yourself updated. So that will cover up in the next slide. If you're not a risk taker, if you're a risk averse person, you want job security, then better go for a job. Now in job as well, as I told you, select a job which gives you that growth path, where the growth path is good. So go for management roles, go for the roles which have a direct link with revenue generation, like sales, marketing. So when you take up these roles in the company, your value will depend upon the value that you create for the company. And if you can create value for the company, then you will get a lot of incentives and more opportunities. Yeah. So think of these things as you decide your career path. Now the question is that if you have already chosen a career path and you want to shift, then what to do? So I would say yes, you can shift. So make all these calculations, make you can say opportunity matrix. Okay. Now in this opportunity matrix, what you'll do is that what is your current position? If you say quit this job and go for something new, some new profession, then what is the risk that you are taking? So identify the risk. Number one is that I lose this job. So I lose the revenue that I'm generating today. How much time will it take for me to establish myself in the new thing? So if you're shifting from one job to another, there is no risk, because the day you will shift, the salary will just replace by a new company, but the salary will not drop. Okay, you will continue to receive salary every month, and in fact you will get a lot of increments as well. Because normally when you shift from one company to another, you get around 30, 40, 50% hike. So there is no risk there. The risk element comes when you are shifting from job to your own profession, or you are starting your own business or a startup. If you do that, then what happens is that you lose your salary. So for how many months you are going to lose it? Means how many months it will take to establish your profession or your business and start earning the similar kind of amount that you are losing right now. So suppose if I'm earning 1 lakh a month, and it will take me 6 months to establish myself in my profession and earn back 1 lakh a month. Means for 6 months I'm losing 1 lakh. Okay. So this is a loss which calculation which you have to make. And then you have to also see that, okay, now in going ahead, what is the progress that I'll make there, which is beyond the progress that I would make if I continue in my present job. So if in my present job, I'm getting a 10% increment every year. So make that calculation, the future value calculation, that with 10% increase, where would I reach in number of years? And now if I'm shifting to my profession or maybe a startup, I should expect at least 20, 30, 40% hike every year. If that is not so, then there is no point in shifting. Yeah, you'll not earn good money. So make that calculation and see that what is the loss you are suffering right now, what is the opportunity in the future, what will be the increment, what additional revenue you will generate by shifting to your business or profession, and what will be the total advantage in 10 years or 20 years from now. If that is positive, then make that shift. Otherwise, don't. Okay. So all these are important factors. Then moving ahead to another very interesting concept that we'll discuss, and this is called as the explore, exploit, and rule. Now this is a mindset thing again. Okay. So whether you are in your profession, whether you are in business, whether you are in vocation, or whether you have your own startup, whatever the case may be, whatever profession you choose, okay, I mean whatever line you choose for yourself in your career, this rule remains the same. Okay. Now what this rule says, this is what I have made out of my own experience and studying the market, that for the first 5 years after you join the real world, okay, after education is over and you join the job market or your profession or whatever, the first 5 years, you should devote your time, energy, and focus. 80%, all of these things are 80%, your time, your energy, and your focus. Okay. 80% should be to explore. Keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open, see what is happening in the market, keep exploring. Because you never succeed in the first attempt. As I told you in one of the earlier sessions, that we fall 10,000 times before we stand on our own feet when we were kids. Okay, so we fell at least 10,000 times. So now at least you can fail 100 times, right? So keep failing, but keep exploring, because your so when this question comes, that what should I choose, whether should I choose I should go for profession or vocation, or what should I do in my life, this big question is there. Unless you do it, you will not understand. Nobody can give you an answer beforehand. You have to enter the market, you have to explore. Like when I became a chartered accountant, I just explored. I started my own class, took 25,000 loan from my father, got some second-hand furniture, benches and desks, put them, got a painter, renovated the hall. There was an old hall that I took on rent from a person. I renovated it, I just painted it, and put the desk out there and started. I announced that I'm taking a class. I took that risk of 25,000 rupees. Okay. And 2 students came on the first day. Both were my old friends who were still in CA final. So they came, and then it became a history. So you have to take that risk. Unless you take risk, and there are smaller and bigger risks. So one is the risk as far as the choice is concerned. Then there are risks that which subject should I teach? Should I teach this subject or that subject? So do it. See what the students say about it. If they like it, there's a good opportunity there. Okay, so keep exploring. 80% of your time you should devote to explore new things and new strategies. Like you start your own practice. Okay, so try different things, taxation and international taxation, and whatever you can see, just keep trying it. And you never know which will click. Now the thing that clicks, you understand that here my customer is liking this thing and he's coming back for it, he's asking for more, means there is an opportunity here. Then value the opportunity. What is the market size? What is the growth that I can see in this? How many customers are out there who can take this service? Am I the alone person? What is the level of competition out there? Okay, study all these things and then devote yourself more into it. So when you devote yourself more into it, that is called as exploit. So first you explore, and then when you find the niche, you find those, zones where you can really excel fast, exploit them, do it again and again, do it more. So that is exploiting. When you start earning revenue out of it, you make a lot of revenue from it. Similarly, in job market, you try a lot of jobs. If you don't like it, shift. Maybe 6 months, you give to one job and then shift, and then another 6 months or 1 year, shift again. Don't do it every month. It will not look good in your CV. But at least 6 months to 1 year is okay for the freshers. So you do that, and then you will know that which is the right spot. So when you'll hit that right spot, exploit it, grow in that. Okay. 20% you should exploit, 80% explore. Next 5 years, as we'll find your sweet spots more and more. So 50% you still keep exploring, and 50% of time, energy, efforts you devote for exploiting. Okay, and create more revenue out of it. Next 10 years, that is, first 10 years have gone. Now you are into the 11th year, 11 to 20th year. As you will find a lot of, the good revenue earning spots, and you know now that what you're good at, 80% of the time you keep for exploitation, and 20% you still keep exploring. Don't stop exploration, because you never know where the world will move, how the things will change. Okay, so keep exploring, keep your eyes open. Next 10 years, 20% you keep exploring, 60% you keep exploiting, and 20% you keep ruling. Now what is ruling? Ruling means, now out of the 80% that you are exploiting, you will find some portions where you have become, the owner, or what we call as a monopoly. So once you develop a monopoly in a particular area, means the majority market is with you. Now you rule in that market. So what is the difference between exploitation and ruling? The difference is competition. When you break the competition and you get ahead of it, you are number one position, then you are ruling that market. So when you are in a ruling position, you can decide the price. That's the key factor. Now you can really earn a lot of money when you are ruling in a particular area. Okay. So that can be a very small area. That can be like, I am a doctor, and in that locality, I am the sole heart doctor. There's no one else. Means I am ruling. Okay. So now when you are in a ruling position, you have to play the game in such a way that not only you earn a lot of money out of it, you are very successful, but at the same time, you have to keep track of the competition as well. You have to stay ahead of your competition as well. So these two crucial factors you have to keep into consideration. You cannot lose that market. And the last 10 years, considering that you will work for 40 years, so 10% you still keep exploring, never stop exploring. Okay. Reliance is still exploring, and it is entering into newer and newer areas of business. Adani is still exploring. Okay, Apple is still exploring. So these big companies, big giants are also exploring even after reaching the highest levels of success. Okay, so 40% you exploit and 50% now you rule the market. So this is how you have to pace your career. Okay, got it? So you have to pace your career in such a way, make your career path in such a way that you have to achieve these goals. You can put them as goals. So you have to achieve these goals in these many years. And the earlier you do, better. But you have to do it. If you are exploring 80% even after 10 years, means that you're not good in that. Please change your line. Okay. If you don't find your sweet spots, even after 5 years, means you are not in the right space. You need to change the space. You need to change your career path. Then coming to the education planning, this is also a very important point. We'll discuss this today only. So after 10th, what we do is, now this is something very important. Now you are not in 10th, I know that point, but what we do after 10th, you must know so that you know what we need to do today. Okay. So after 10th, what we do is we select a stream, whether you should go for science or commerce or humanities, right? And nowadays there is a combination that you can select as well, as per the new education policy. After 12th, you decide upon your knowledge building. So if you select engineering or if you select MBBS or chartered accountancy or whatever, so you are now committing yourself to a hardcore knowledge base. Okay. So degree course is actually a knowledge base. So after 10th, we select a stream. After 12th, we select knowledge base. After graduation, once you graduate from a particular field, then you go for specialization. So specialization is still narrowing down in that whole area. So even after you become a MBBS, you have to specialize into something like oncologist or hematologist or whatever area they are. I don't understand much of them. And when you join your working life, you have to do continuous learning. Okay, you have to still engage yourself in continuous learning and updation process. You cannot leave education. Education will not leave you for your entire life. Okay. So this is the pyramid which we build. And when I say continuous learning, what it means is this skill development. So when you are into your working life, you have to now focus more on skills. So your focus on basic education or knowledge-based education will be reduced. So the pyramid is like this. So when you reach the top level, your knowledge pyramid is reducing. So it's not about knowledge, it's more about skills. So the pyramids of these two, the education and skills, are inverse to each other. So in your earlier years, like when you're in school or college, you don't focus so much on skills. Your focus is on education. But as we move ahead in life, the focus is changing. So this is a very crucial thing. Okay. Whether you are a chartered accountant, whether you are an MBBS, you are an engineer, you are doing whatever, okay, whatever stream you have selected, keep track of changes happening in your industry. And with technology, things are changing very fast. So you have to keep yourself updated. So there are lots of sites, free as well as paid sites. So you can read a lot of blogs and articles. You can read a lot of research papers, which are free, of course. Then you can do a lot of courses like on Udemy, Coursera, and other sites are there, which give you skill-based learnings. Like today, artificial intelligence is the big thing. Okay, every one of us should know what is artificial intelligence. Even though I am a chartered accountant, I have nothing to do with technology. Okay, my profession is not technology, but I should know about it because it affects my life as well. The accounting softwares which are coming today are loaded with artificial intelligence. So I should know how it works and what it is, right? Even if I'm not going to code a program out there, but I should know. So the basic understanding should be there. And then, of course, if I think that's very crucial for me and I want to build a software loaded with artificial intelligence, and I can hire coders for that. But if I don't know what they're coding, then I may not be able to build it. So therefore, I should do the course in artificial intelligence, right? So do it along with your career path. So keep learning new skills. That's very crucial. Then the last topic for the day is that when you decide to learn things, whether it's your basic college or a post-graduation college, or later on in life as you do your MBA or your CFA or any other, specialization courses, the choice of institution is very crucial. Which institution you should do your course from is very crucial, and this calculation will explain you. So what happens is that no matter how much we say that the knowledge base is important, it is important, but the college is equally important, because when you go for jobs, your value will depend upon the value of the college, the brand reputation of the college. So say for example, you join college 1, which is okay college, not that great, okay, the local engineering college, and the starting salary for the alumni who come out of that college is say 1 lakh rupees a month. And if we take a 10% hike every year, and if you compound your salary, what it is going to be after 20 years, it will be like 7 lakhs a month, around about 6.72 lakhs a month, compounded at the rate of 10% every year. So that's the bottom line there in the graph. But if you join college 2, which is a reputed college, and IIT or IIM for that matter, then what happens is that if your starting salary is 2 lakh a month, so at the start 1 lakh and 2 lakhs is what? Double? Yeah, in terms of percentage it is double, but in terms of value 1 lakh and 2 lakh is not that much, right? Now in that as well, if we take only 10% hike every year, so we'll from both the colleges you join your jobs and say the hike is 10%, it remains the same. Still, after 20 years, the amount will become 13.42 lakhs. So now it is still double, but see the difference from 6 lakhs to 13 lakhs. Huge difference, right? So see the accumulation that you see, the net wealth that will generate. Okay. And if we take 15% hike, which will be there, because the growth of an IIM MBA is much different from an MBA of a local college. There's a huge difference. These people get the starting level is itself high, plus the opportunities that they get are tremendous. So their hike will be much more. So if we take it 15%, the amount will go to 32.73 lakhs. And in reality, it will be even higher than that. So that's the difference which happens. Just because knowledge is the same, the difference is in the college or the institution, you can say. So therefore, it is very important to choose the right institutions when you take or when you go for any additional degrees or post-graduation or specialization courses. Okay, so that's very crucial. Keep that in mind. And MBA is something which you can do anytime afterwards as well, and you can do a lot of specialization. Now obviously, if I say that okay, go to Harvard, you will not be able to go, because number one, the fees itself is in crores and we are not able to pay that. So go for scholarships if you can. There are a lot of scholarship examinations. Try to attempt these exams, and if you hit the mark, if you get a scholarship, well and good, you should go for it. Or else, these days there are executive MBAs as well. Then there are small short-term programs like 3 months, 6 months programs of very reputed colleges, and they are very cost effective. So you can do those programs. So first you do your MBA from a good university which you can afford, and then later on do a specialization course from Kellogg's or maybe Harvard or Yale University. Okay, so make your plan, make your education plan and specialization plan. And further, you have to see these things as well when you choose your institution. One is the placement track record in the past, then the recognition for further higher studies, okay, whether you'll be able to join colleges in the future or not, and which colleges recognize that particular degree. Then recognition for profession and job market in India as well as abroad. The alumni network. The next session that I'm going to take is on networking. And one of the crucial networks is your alumni network of your college or institution. That's a very crucial thing. And you know why people pay so much money to go to Harvard and Yale and Stanford and all? Just to get into that network that adds tremendous value. Because the earlier people who have done it from that university are now sitting in the top positions of the corporates in the world. And when you go there for an interview and you say that I'm from Stanford, and he says, oh, you're from Stanford, I'm also from Stanford. Hello, how are you? Come in. You know, that matters. So therefore, alumni network is very crucial. So see that that university which you are joining has a very reputed alumni network. Then the overall reputation of that institution, the research facilities, and the skill focus. What focus is on this skill development? It should be there. If there is no skill development focus, then don't go there. So these are some of the aspects which you should take into consideration. Okay. So that was for today. And tomorrow we are going to discuss very, very important point, and that is how to build your network. Because your network, the bigger the network, not only will you get more success in life, but you will get a lot of stability, a lot of support as well. So that's for tomorrow. See you guys.